Hello. She wants to be involved. Today we are starting a 12-week plan. So this is kind of a modified 12-week year, which is a well-known self-help book that I have not read, but I did watch a whole bunch of videos that talk about it. So the basic premise of this is that you are, instead of planning for an entire year, you are condensing your work into 12 weeks because allegedly most of the work in completing a year's goals happens right at the very end. So if you just cut short the time that you have available and really focus in and create achievable goals, you can achieve a lot more, which, I think is fair. And also we're going into spring and summer, which are like my prime seasons. And so it is naturally a time where I am more inspired, want to do more things. I'm also in a time of kind of life transition here where I am switching jobs. And so I have a couple weeks off in the month of May. And so it's a perfect opportunity to kind of get a jump start on some of these goals. So I have 4 kind of domains of life that I want to work on. Basically 3 iterations of a 4-week set of goals. So I want to make this very achievable, and for me that kind of means having re-evaluations built in. 4 domains are health, business, or kind of income, I guess you could say, home, and Spanish. And so the first 4 weeks, which have technically already started, it's Tuesday. For health, I have here do yoga or run every single day. I'm actually fine with anything that is pretty active. Like, I do try to go for a walk almost every single day, so I don't necessarily want to count that unless maybe it's like a long walk. But playing basketball, something that's a little bit more active, and by every day, that is with the understanding that I will not do it every day. I'm not actually trying to achieve this 7 days a week, 4 weeks, then again and again and again. But I have found in the past that when I say things like 5 days a week or whatever, I both underachieve and get perfectionistic and just quit. So like, if I say, 5 days a week, then automatically I'm thinking, oh, well, I have 2 days that I don't have to do it. So I'm automatically wanting to take those days the second that I don't feel like doing it. And then also, if I don't achieve it 5 days, I'm like, well, that's shot now, so for me, I'm thinking if I just aim to do it every day, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't necessarily happen, but I am going to try really hard for every day, and I will try to track whether that's actually happening. Business. So I'm trying to generate some streams of income that are not my main job, and also preferably aren't even that strictly tied to like this channel. You don't have a huge amount of control over the income that you make on YouTube, and so I would like something else. The first thing related to this is just that I want to really start being much better about tracking all of my expenses and maintaining a budget. I can definitely tighten my budget significantly, and I do plan to. And just with switching jobs and everything, it's a good time to get that completely under control this year. So that's not related to an income stream, but it is about, obviously maximizing your income. The other goal in this category is starting digital products. So I have started a digital product that we'll talk more about, but it's not something that I'm necessarily planning to market heavily in my videos or anything like that. Don't worry about it. And then home, I want to have a yard sale at the end of May. I don't have a yard, but I do know people who have yards, so I can have a yard sale at their house and just sell a bunch of stuff from my apartment that is just not serving any purpose in my life. I also need to sell some stuff online and just generally declutter massively. And then Spanish, I want to speak every day. Like, I really want to, through this 12 weeks, improve my production in Spanish. My understanding in Spanish is very high, but my ability to speak is significantly lower. And so I want to do a lot of targeted practice in order to hopefully improve that. And so I think for at least the first month, that is going to be, I'm hoping 5 or 10 minutes minimum every single day, and then some days longer than that. So yeah, those are my first 4-week plans. The next ones will mostly just be reevaluating. So at the end of that first month, deciding if those same goals are continuing to serve me, if they need changed. I keep my Notion like extremely minimal. I definitely do not use Notion to its full extent because I don't use my computer every single day. Like, it's not a good daily planner for me. I have a bullet journal that I use a lot more often, and then if it's something, for example, like the tracking whether I'm doing a yoga or running every single day, I will just have that in a note on my phone and just make it a checkbox. So that's easy. Whereas Notion, I don't find myself opening Notion daily, so this is more of a long-term planning thing for me, and so it just suits me really well to have it be extremely simple. But so these are some of the goals for the first 4 weeks. By the end of this week, I want to have my first draft of the first digital product that I'm working on. I hate saying digital product. It sounds so scammy. It's a resource guide. It's a huge PDF of resources, and first thing next week, send it out to people for review. Then I want to, finish those edits once I get those back, post it for sale by the end of the month. And then for home, I have, do a yard sale sometime this month, and hopefully also sell a bunch of items online. And then the health and Spanish ones, since those goals are extremely simple this month and just basically doing something every single day, I just have that, as in progress, and I will track those on my phone instead of on Notion. Not that you can't use Notion on your phone, but I don't find it particularly user-friendly. So then there's also this board view. This is just a built-in Notion feature. And so I have I already categorized my expenses for April. I have these 2 things in progress, and then I have all these other goals that will eventually hopefully get moved over to these. I can obviously add to this throughout the month as well. And then I have it started for next month, but I haven't actually added anything to this yet. And then there will be a third one for the third round. I am actually really excited about this because I'm hoping that this will give me some kind of medium-term clarity. Like, I am really good at sitting down and hyper-focusing and finishing a task in 8 hours, if I have uninterrupted time to do something, I can accomplish so much. And then long-term is so hard to have concrete goals for. If long-term my goal is to have many income streams and not be dependent on working full-time, that's such a nebulous goal to achieve. So it's very hard to plan for that. So I think kind of these medium-term goals are hopefully what can help me achieve some of those long-term goals, but also not be dependent on random bursts of motivation. Hopefully this will be good, and I will come back with updates maybe after the first 4 weeks. We shall see. There may also be vlogs along the way, obviously only semi-language related, but it's all interconnected because, people are multifaceted. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.